Hi Gemini, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of April 2022. It is Aries season, and that's a cardinal fire sign, and Mercury and the Sun are both transiting in the cardinal fire sign of Aries. Mercury is the ruler of your sign, and the Sun represents ego and vitality. It's exalted in Aries, very action-oriented, and Chiron, which is an asteroid representing the wounded healer, is also transiting in the cardinal fire sign of Aries, in your house of friends and groups and networking. And it's a very healing and communicative energy, and it's good for you for networking, to find people that resonate with you, and also for healing work. And we also have a stellium of planets transiting in the fixed air sign of Aquarius, and this is the new age of Aquarius. And as we begin the month, Mars and Venus are both transiting in the fixed air sign of Aquarius. Vesta, which represents hearth and home, is an asteroid that's transiting in Aquarius. Saturn, the planet of karma, challenges, and accountability, is transiting in Aquarius. And Juno, which is an asteroid that represents partnering, they're all transiting in Aquarius, in your house of belief systems and manifesting and teaching. And it's a good time, obviously, to connect with others. Aquarius is a fellow air sign, very centered on community and organizations, and also groups and connecting with other people. It's a very social sign. And there's also a very big buildup of Jupiter and Neptune. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion and abundance. It represents the vision. Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. It represents the dream. Jupiter is the ancient ruler. And they're both transiting in your house of career and life goals. And they're meeting up in the middle of April for the first time in over 165 years to bring this very spiritual, creative, and romantic energy. It's very healing, but it's also expanding the whole Piscean energy. So although there is a lot of Aquarian energy in the sky as we begin the month, very cerebral and unpredictable and a bit chaotic, and it's Aries season, the Pisces energy is very strong, very sensitive, very intuitive, and for you, expanding the doors professionally, because Jupiter has been transiting in your house of career and life goals since December 28th of last year. It briefly toured there last summer from May 13th until July 28th. And now Jupiter is expanding Neptune. That's a whole other level of just the divine spiritual. But it can also feel scattered. You're a mutable sign. You're very, you can go in many different directions. But at the end, towards the end of the month, after Jupiter and Neptune meet up, there will be 5 points swimming in the sign of Pisces in your house of career and life. So career is a big focus this month, and also connecting to your intuition. So we begin the month, and there is a new moon that takes place on March 31st at 11:24 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on April 1st at 2:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, at 11 degrees and 30 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And that new moon gives a big burst of energy in your house of friends and groups and networking. If you're looking to connect with other people, if you're single and looking to meet somebody new, if you're looking to expand your social circle or promote your business or look for a job, this new moon is very fortuitous for connecting and networking with other people. And that Jupiter-Neptune energy is very potent and strong. There is also a very healing tone to this new moon because it's conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. And that's all about healing. And the sun is exalted in the sign of Aries. It's very potent, very confident and strong. And the new moon is in your house of wishes, friends, and groups. Later that day, the sun meets up with Chiron, the wounded healer, at 10:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is a good new moon for focusing on your intentions, planting new seeds. It's always a good time for doing the law of abundance to manifest. And for you, it might be useful to do some kind of a new moon ritual in a group capacity, whether it's online or in person or with other people. It's a very networking new moon. And on April 2nd, Mercury, which is the ruler of your sign, the planet of communication, meets up with Chiron at 9:42 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Very good for focusing on healing work. Again, in a group capacity would be wonderful, but just in general, very healing energy, being aware of the wounds in order to heal, but, focusing with light. And then the sun and Mercury meet up at 7:11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A lot of networking, a lot of information, and I think a lot of healing energy to this new moon. On April 3rd, the moon will be transiting in the fixed Taurus, and it meets up with Uranus at 1:47 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of dreams and spirituality. And it could be, the moon is exalted in Taurus, is very creative and romantic and sensuous. Could be an unpredictable day. Plans could get changed. For you, you may have some good insights. It's in your house of intuition. And then on April 5th, Venus changes signs and enters the mutable water sign of Pisces at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until May 2nd in your house of career and life goals. And that's excellent for marketing yourself, for partnering with others, and just really good for presenting a good image professionally. And you already have the other benefic Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance. This will be there until May 10th, and then again later in the end of October. And then on April 7th, Mercury forms a helpful aspect to Saturn, which is the planet of structure and commitment. And they meet up at 8:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's good for business communication, good for learning and structuring your thoughts. On April 8th, Jupiter makes an excellent aspect to the North Node of Destiny, and that occurs at 3:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring for you excellent professional opportunities. As you get further in the month, there's a lot of focus on your professional life and your life goals overall, and that could bring very fated and auspicious connections, so that's nice. And then on April 9th, Jupiter and Neptune are getting closer in the sky. They are building up, forming this beautiful, romantic, manifesting energy that will never occur in our lifetime and has not occurred in our lifetime before. And, these are the two rulers of Pisces, the sign of dreams and imagination, opening up many doors for you professionally. So really work with this manifesting energy, whether it's about your career or about making your life more spiritual or bringing romance to your life, whatever your life goals are, manifest through your imagination. And this is very romantic, creative, and healing energy. And on April 10th, Mercury squares Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that could bring power struggles conceivably. But my feeling is if you're really working with the healing component of this lovely Jupiter-Neptune pairing, it's about eliminating toxic energy that's blocking you from this divine happiness, this, you know, this dream that you're trying to magnetize, and getting rid of toxic habits, toxic thoughts. You know, our mind really propels us in many ways, and you're ruled by Mercury, which rules the mind, so you're fully aware of that. So really putting yourself in that place emotionally of feeling what you want to feel, to magnetize, and eliminating toxic thoughts and patterns. And then later on the 10th, Mercury changes signs and enters the fixed Earth sign of Taurus at 10:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it will be transiting in Taurus until April 29th in your house of dreams and imagination. So pay attention to the messages you receive with Mercury transiting in your house of the subliminal mind. And on April 14th, Mars, which is the planet of action, enters the mutable water sign of Pisces at 11:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it will be in Pisces until May 24th, actually 9:06 p.m. And it will be there until May 24th. Mars will be transiting and activating your house of career. So that's a new 2-year cycle of getting things accomplished. Mars is not its strongest in Pisces, but it's exalted in the house of career. So again, more cosmic invitations for you to really focus professionally and on what your life goals are, and to take action to get them done through physical action and through your imagination. And then on April 16th, there is a full moon that takes place at 2:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 26 degrees and 46 minutes of the cardinal air sign of Libra. And this full moon squares Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth. And for you, this full moon is falling in your house of romance, creativity, and love affairs. And if you've been dating somebody, maybe it takes another level. If it's unhealthy, often things do end. There's a culmination with a full moon, and the fact that it is squaring Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, but we also still have that Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, so strong and healing. Hopefully it's eliminating things that are keeping you from your happiness. But realistically, there will be endings and change with Pluto square the moon. And on April 17th, Mercury and Venus form a very harmonious aspect in the sky, and that's a lovely energy, and that occurs at 11:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then Mercury meets up with Uranus, the planet of surprise and the unexpected, and that occurs at 11:51 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on April 18th at 12:51 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that, whatever you think it is, it could be something else. Maybe you get some information that gets uncovered unexpectedly. Could be very innovative energy as well. And on April 18th, Venus forms a beautiful aspect to Uranus, the planet of innovation and the unexpected. And they make this good aspect at 3:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that could bring very creative opportunities for you professionally, and it's a very innovative energy. And then the Sun squares Pluto at 11:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. There could be power struggles with friends. There could be fixed Earth sign of Taurus at 10:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will transit until May 20th in your house of dreams and the imagination. So getting enough rest, restoring before your birthday cycle begins, your solar return. This is a time of I feel preparing and resting up for that and paying attention to your intuition. And then on May 24th, Mercury squares Saturn in the sky at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring some blocks, that can feel difficult to manifest. It's good for doing difficult work or things that require a lot of patience. But then later that day, Mercury and Neptune form a good aspect in the sky, and that, is very helpful energy. And on April 26th, Mercury trines Pluto. That's a very innovative energy at 8:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's more, not so innovative, it's more empowering, and really that you feel like you can achieve a lot through your thoughts and through networking. And then a big deal, Pluto stations retrograde at 28 degrees and 36 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. And it sets off where Saturn was transiting from March 5th until December 3rd of 2020. And for you, that's falling in your house of death and rebirth, joint resources, debt, and taxes. And you can expect that energy to be very palpable 5 days before and 5 days after. Major shifts, major endings. People could be passing over with that energy, but also it's about focusing on what you need to transform emotionally and in your healing resources and financially as well. And then on, on April 30th, there is a partial solar eclipse. That is huge. So the end of the month will be huge. It occurs at 4:28 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 10 degrees and 28 minutes of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus. And this new moon sets off where Uranus has been transiting on and off for the last year and a half approximately. And it is, on top of Uranus within a couple of days, bringing in a lot of unexpected news, information, and insights. Eclipses are already very unpredictable. They can be life-changing in a minute. You can have a major new beginning or ending that comes out of the blue. Maybe sometimes it is building up and then it changes your life altogether. But this conjunct Uranus, the great awakener, it really adds more of that erratic and unpredictable tone to the eclipse. The two benefics, Venus and Jupiter, are conjunct in Pisces, and Venus is exalted in Pisces, very lovely, and Jupiter is in its dignity. It rules Pisces in ancient astrology, and they meet up exactly at 5:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of career. Very, very lovely energy. So hopefully the eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. It's bringing new beginnings, and it falls in your house of dreams. Really work with the eclipse energy to manifest new beginnings, and with all the Pisces energy. On April 20th, the other thing too is that Juno, which is an asteroid that represents partnering, changes signs and enters Pisces, where it'll be until January 12th. So I wish you guys a lot of luck, a lot of Neptunian energy at the end of the month, a lot of focus on your career. Huge eclipse and Pluto station end of month, and I wish you good luck. Take care.